She doesn't choose desire. She senses it long before thought, before reason. Something inside her responds, not to your smile, not your status, but to a feeling she can't trace, a signal hidden beneath words. We've been taught to impress her, to pursue, to perform. But none of that reaches the part of her that decides, without asking her permission. This is where real attraction lives, beneath logic, beneath language. A hidden psychology that shapes her wants, without her knowing why. In this space, it's not about tactics, it's about energy, presence, and the invisible imprint you carry without even trying. Today, we'll uncover that imprint. We'll trace the quiet current that pulls her in, without a single word. And once you see it, you won't need to chase anything, because what's hidden is what pulls her the most. And before this ends, you'll realize some desires you've chased were never meant to be caught, only awakened. They say desire is simple, a spark, a look, a moment. But that's a lie you've been sold. And it's the reason most men chase what they'll never catch. You see, there isn't just one kind of desire at play. There are two. The first, it's what you've been told about all your life. That instant spark, that undeniable pull, the kind of attraction that happens before a word is spoken. It's real. But here's the mistake. For many women, desire doesn't strike like lightning. They're waiting for something else, something slower, deeper. They're waiting to respond. It's called responsive desire. But forget the label. Just know this. For many women, desire doesn't arrive first. It awakens after she feels safe, after her mind quiets, after she senses, without a doubt, that you see the woman beneath the surface. And this is where most men fail. They push for fire, but she's still standing in the cold. But here's the part no one tells you. Even when that warmth begins to rise, even when she starts to respond, there's still one more force at work, hidden beneath it all. And it's the real reason she says yes to some men and no to the rest. In 60 seconds, we'll uncover the image every man projects and why she feels it before he does. Every man carries within him a silent image of the perfect woman. She isn't real. She isn't flesh and blood. She's an ideal, a vision shaped by childhood memories, first loves, and hidden longings he's never spoken aloud. Carl Jung called her the Anima, the feminine imprint carved deep into the male subconscious. Jung saw the Anima as the unconscious record of every feminine influence a man absorbs, shaping what he seeks and how he loves. And here's where it becomes dangerous. Most men don't even know she's there, but she shapes everything. The glances that linger too long, the impossible standards, the silent comparisons to a woman who doesn't even exist. And whether he knows it or not, every time he looks at a woman, he's not really seeing her. He's searching for her. Yet few men realize she feels it before you say a word, before your lips ever part. She feels the weight of your projection, and it changes everything. If the image you carry is weak, uncertain, filled with hidden fear, she feels nothing. But when the projection is strong, when it carries the silent confidence of a man who knows exactly what he desires, she feels it, and she responds, often before she even knows why. But what happens when she refuses to play the role you've written for her? When she senses the image you project and chooses to break free from it? That's when the real power struggle begins. And most men lose control completely. But projection is only half the story. What she hides is far more explosive. Every desire that's been denied, every impulse buried under years of control, doesn't disappear. It hides, deep in the unconscious, in a place Jung called the shadow. It's the vault for every impulse we're taught to hide. Power, rage, forbidden longing, yet those impulses never lose their charge. This isn't the darkness you show the world. It's the one you hide from yourself. And when it comes to female desire, this shadow holds a fire that burns hotter than anything she'll ever admit. From childhood, in many cultures, she is taught to control it, to tame it, to dress it up in approval and silence it with politeness. But the more she denies it, the louder it whispers. And nothing awakens that hidden fire faster than what's forbidden. The man she knows she shouldn't want. The moment that feels dangerous but thrilling. The glance held too long. The tension never spoken. The line not crossed yet. Because here's the paradox of the shadow. What we repress, we end up craving most. And the very boundaries she's told herself to keep become the edges she secretly wants to touch. This is why some desires feel uncontrollable, not because they're wrong, but because they've been locked away for too long. And the moment she tastes the forbidden, the map of who she is rewrites itself. But unlocking this door doesn't end the story. It begins a dangerous new chapter. But be warned, not every man can handle what's unlocked when that door finally opens. Before we step further, tell me, have you crossed that line, felt the forbidden, and been changed by it? Share it below. You might find you're not alone. Desire is never just about attraction. It's about power. But before we talk about control, there's a twist in this power game you've never considered. The silent battle between control and surrender. And whether she knows it or not, every moment of arousal, every glance, every breathless pause is a negotiation. Who leads? Who follows? Who holds the tension just long enough? And who breaks first? Because in desire, the one who can wait the longest holds the most power. You've felt this before. That moment when the room goes quiet, and without a word, everything changes. Her eyes soften, her breath catches, her defenses begin to fall, and yet, she's the one who looks away, who really had the power. This is the paradox most men never understand. Surrender is the most powerful move of all, because when she chooses to let go, it's not weakness. It's a conscious act of trust, a calculated release of control, given only to the man who proves he can hold it. Yet the real game is hidden in plain sight. If you reach for it, grasp for it, demand it, she'll pull away. But if you stand still, fully present, unmoved by the storm of her resistance, she'll come to you. Not because you took power, but because you became it. From the moment she takes her first breath, a woman is taught one thing above all else: control it, hide it. Don't want too much. Don't show too much. Don't feel too much. Culture shapes her like clay, pressing expectations into her skin, masking natural desires behind what's acceptable, what's good. And so, she learns to wear the mask, smiling when she wants to scream, saying no when every part of her is on fire, pretending she doesn't care, while desire churns just beneath the surface. But every mask cracks eventually. And when it does, desire doesn't return politely. It rushes back like a wave held behind a dam for far too long. This is why attraction often feels stronger when it's forbidden. Why she longs for the dangerous, the unknown. The man who isn't afraid to see the version of her she hides from the world. Strip away the mask, and desire looks nothing like the story she was told. It's not always soft. It's not always gentle. Sometimes it's wild, unapologetic, untamed. And the greatest tragedy, most women go their entire lives without ever meeting the version of themselves that lives behind that mask. But when the mask slips, what surfaces isn't always what she expects. While the mind plays its games, the body writes its own story. Behind every glance, every moment of tension, a silent war unfolds inside her. On one side, dopamine, the chemical of desire, the thrill of the unknown, the electric rush that comes with anticipation, with chasing what feels just out of reach. And on the other side, oxytocin, the chemical of trust, of closeness, the warmth that softens the edges after desire has burned its brightest. Attraction lives in the space between these two forces, too much dopamine, and she craves endlessly, but never feels safe. Too much oxytocin, and the fire fades, replaced by comfort and predictability. But when a man knows how to hold both, to spark the thrill of the chase, while anchoring her in unshakable presence, that's when desire becomes unforgettable. It's a simple balance. Stimulate the mind, anchor the heart, invite the surrender. Because in the end, chemistry is only the spark. The story you tell her body, that's what keeps the flame alive. Think of it as this: mirror, anchor, invite. Mirror her emotions, reflect, don't resist. Anchor her safety. Stand present, unmoved. Invite her desire, never demand. Always open space. So what does this mean for you? It means that desire isn't something you chase. It's something you awaken. By becoming the man who doesn't need to reach for it. When you embody stillness, when you're fully present, without demanding or proving, you create a space where her hidden desires can rise to the surface. Not because you forced them, but because you invited them. That's the difference between attraction that fades and desire that lingers long after you've left the room. This isn't about manipulation. It's about mastery. Knowing when to lead, when to wait, and when to walk away. Because you understand that true power isn't control, it's presence. And once you master that, you'll often find you no longer need to chase desire and start living as the man who effortlessly calls it in. She doesn't respond to what's obvious. She responds to what's hidden. And if you listen closely, if you stop trying to be heard, and instead learn to feel the silent language beneath every glance, you'll find it, that unseen current of desire, the moment where nothing is said, but everything is known. So, what unseen current have you felt, but never named? Leave your story below, because sometimes the truths we share become the mirror others didn't know they were searching for. If something in you stirred while listening, trust it. These aren't just ideas. They're fragments of a truth you've always carried. Subscribe to Deeper Rewind for more unspoken insights. The kind that don't just explain, but remember you.